Have you ever wondered how a single player can turn the tides for a team on the brink of greatness? The Toronto Maple Leafs are in a heated battle for playoff position, and one forward's resurgence is making waves. After a roller coaster season, filled with ups and downs, this player is finally finding his stride, leaving management with a dilemma: capitalize on his hot streak or keep him for the long haul. Join me as we explore this pivotal moment for the Leafs and what it could mean for their championship aspirations. If you're passionate about the Leafs, make sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up for all the latest insights. The Toronto Maple Leafs are navigating some interesting waters lately, especially with the emergence of Robertson. I mean, who would have thought a sudden surge from him would throw Brad Treliving into a bit of a dilemma right before the trade deadline? It's certainly made things more complicated for the team, and as a passionate fan, I can't help but feel the tension in the air. Now, we've seen the Leafs transform into one of the NHL's offensive juggernauts over the past month, with Austin Matthews finally finding his stride, and Mitch Marner and John Tavares consistently dazzling. It feels like we're starting to see the team we all dreamed of at the beginning of the season. Their defensive game has been solid, and with the goaltending holding up, the playoffs are shaping up to be a real possibility. But back to Robertson, his recent play raises so many questions. Should they trade him while his value is high, or should they hang on and see if this is the beginning of something special? It's been a roller coaster season for Robertson. From trade speculation in the offseason to signing a deal just before the season kicked off, it's been a whirlwind. He had a rough start, but has shown significant improvement lately. In his recent games, he's been a real spark plug for the team, contributing not just on the score sheet but also in the physicality department. He's been checking more frequently, working on his defensive game, and it's clear he's bought into the system. That's a big deal for a player who might not be the strongest physically, but is bringing heart and hustle to the ice. This season, he's already posted 8 goals and 4 assists, along with impressive stats like 42 hits and 18 blocked shots in just 39 games. He's finding ways to contribute in ways that matter. Remember that game against Montreal? Robertson deflected a pass from Oliver Ekman-Larsson, which was crucial for the team's comeback. He was everywhere, buzzing around the ice, looking for opportunities to make an impact. That's the kind of energy we need heading into the postseason. Now, here's where it gets tricky. There's been chatter about trading him, with several teams reportedly showing interest. But honestly, after watching him play like this, can we afford to let him go? The worst thing Toronto could do is trade him just as he's hitting his stride. Sure, he might cool off at some point, but right now, he's riding that wave of confidence, and we need to embrace that. We all know how unpredictable hockey can be. You never know when a player might find their rhythm or when that rhythm might vanish. So, do I think trading Robertson is the right move? Honestly, I'm torn. On one hand, if we can get a solid return, perhaps a player who can help us right now, it might be worth considering. But on the other hand, if he continues to improve and find his game, we could have a real gem on our hands. This is a young player who's starting to figure it out, and we've seen how valuable that can be in the playoffs. What a night for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They stormed into the Bell Center and delivered a 7-3 victory over the Montreal Canadiens, but, oh boy, this game had its ups and downs. Let's dive into the good, the bad, and the downright ugly of this wild matchup. Let's start with the bad. The Canadiens completely owned the first period. I mean, it was a wake-up call for the Leafs. The shot count of 13-8 in favor of Montreal was only the tip of the iceberg. According to naturalstatric.com, Montreal had a staggering 73% of the expected goals in that period. They were relentless, outclassing Toronto with 7 high-danger scoring chances to just 2 from our boys. The Maple Leafs didn't do themselves any favors either, racking up 3 penalties in the first 18 minutes. It was a rough start, especially when Kirby Dach capitalized on a delayed penalty to score the first goal. And then, after surviving a double minor penalty, they allowed not 1 but 2 quick goals, ending the first period down 3-0. It was a tough pill to swallow. Then there was the ugly. Josh Anderson's goal was a gut punch. After the Canadiens scored their second, it felt like a dagger when Anderson took a pass right inside the Toronto blue line, and with a flick of his wrist, he made it 3-0. Just like that, in a span of 9 seconds, the Leafs went from potentially shaking off a tough first period to staring down a 3-goal deficit. It was a moment that left fans in disbelief, and you could feel the tension in the air. But hold on, because here comes the good. Joseph Woll turned the tide. After allowing 3 goals in the first, he stood tall and shut the door on the Canadiens. If it weren't for his stellar play, this game could have easily turned into a blowout. Woll made some jaw-dropping saves, keeping the Leafs in the game and allowing the offense to wake up. And wake up they did, scoring 7 unanswered goals. The Leafs showcased their offensive firepower. Austin Matthews and William Nylander found the net, and Mitch Marner was instrumental with 2 assists. One name that stood out for me was Oliver Ekman-Larsson. He was a game-changer, registering 3 points in this matchup. His goal late in the second period brought the Leafs within 1, and he added another goal in the third that really shifted the momentum. It's been a while since he had such an impactful game, and seeing him contribute like that is crucial for the team's confidence moving forward. And can we talk about Bobby McMann? This kid opened the scoring in what might have been one of the slowest 2-on-1 breaks you've ever seen. But he made it count, firing a shot past the goalie. And just 24 seconds into the third, he was right there again, making a crucial play that helped tie the game. His hustle and determination are exactly what this team needs. It's also worth noting how coach Craig Berube adjusted on the fly. He limited ice time for players like Philippe Myers, who struggled defensively, and instead relied on Jake McCabe and Chris Tanev to anchor the blue line. These strategic decisions reflect a commitment to accountability, and it's interesting to see how that will shape the depth chart moving forward. Now, looking ahead, the Maple Leafs have an important stretch coming up. They face the Tampa Bay Lightning next, a team that always brings the heat. And then it's the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Ottawa Senators. These games are pivotal, not just for the standings, but for building momentum and cohesion as a team. So, what do you think? Was this comeback indicative of the Leafs' resilience, or does it raise questions about their ability to start games strong? Honestly, I'm torn. I love the grit they showed, but those slow starts could come back to haunt them against tougher opponents. I want to hear from you. What are your expectations moving forward? Do you think they can keep this momentum going? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on all things Toronto Maple Leafs. Activate that notification bell so you don't miss a beat. Let's keep this conversation going, and as always, go Leafs go!